Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to another beautiful day in our math class. Today we're going to be looking at adding and subtracting fractions and whole numbers. And like we have been lately, we're going to be looking at this through the scope of a word problem. That way you have a direct application of the skill. So let's take a quick look at our first problem today. It says, a carpenter has 3/7 feet of pine wood boards. If she buys 4 more feet, how many feet of pine wood boards does she have? So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to here. So she has 3/7 feet of board. She buys 4 more feet. So we're taking what she already has and she's getting more. So that means that we're going to be adding. So I know that I'm going to be adding 3/7 plus 4, and that's going to equal W, or the amount of wood that she has. So now I'm going to start by filling in my 3/7 feet of pine wood boards. I need 3 shaded out of 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I have it already split into sevenths, and I need 3 of them shaded. Now I do try and be a little particular when I shade in fractions, especially on the separation point between the shaded and the non-shaded, just because if I have to split up my fractions any, I don't want to confuse myself by accidentally coloring more than it should be and miscalculating later. So that's why you see me very carefully color in those 2 sections. Now it says, so this is what she has. So I'm going to label this what she has. She buys 4 more feet. Now this is what I'm going to take a minute to think about. So I'm thinking they have 3/7 feet. So in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, well, if 3 pieces out of 7 feet, that's going to tell me that this entire bar is 1 foot. So that means that each foot is split into 7 pieces. Okay, so now she buys 4 more feet. Okay, so I can draw 4 more bars that are roughly the same length. So there's 1, 2, 3, and 4. So if that equals 1 foot, she buys 4 more. And I can even label it so I know that she bought 1, 2, 3, 4 more feet. And I'm going to use my lovely little blue to shade in that she buys 4 more feet. And I'm just going to give myself the color coordination to go, okay, well, whatever she bought, I'm coloring in with this blue so that I can know the difference between what she has and what she bought, because that can be really important. Now I'm thinking that just to remind myself that if I was thinking of these in terms of fractions, then I could technically split all of these into 7 pieces, because 7 pieces is equaling 1 foot. But since she's buying whole feet of wood, I'm not even going to worry about that. Pardon me, I got stuff caught in my throat this morning. And so now I'm thinking, okay, well, I've got these 4 whole feet of wood. And then I have these 3/7, but how do I write that? How do I do that? Well, thankfully, the answer to that question is relatively simple, because now we're getting into the world of mixed numbers. And if you think about things that are mixed things are like, for say, my matte pencils. This is a mixture of matte pencils. There are a bunch of different things put together, right? So in this case, a mixed number when they come to fractions is going to be a whole number and a fraction put together. So in this case, I have 4 3/7 feet of wood. Okay. Simple, straight to the point. All right, let's move on to an example of subtraction. My black pen kind of exploded on me a minute ago. So this problem says, Joann's fabric store has 3 3/5 yards of blue fabric. A customer needs 2 2/4 yards for a sewing project. How much blue fabric will be left? Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do has, okay, so this is how much they have. Okay, so they have 3 3/5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4. So this I'm not going to worry about right now, but I am going to need this 5ths piece. So 3 out of 5 is going to equal 1 foot. And I'm going to need to get a little creative here because of my spacing. So I'm going to say there's 1 full, 2 full, and 3 full feet. So I'm then going to take, and you know what, since it says blue fabric, let's use our blue. So we're going to color in this, well, I guess this is kind of a violet, but oh well. 3 3/5 yards. So just in case, I'm going to go ahead and split each of the full yards of fabric into 5 pieces, just for my brain's sake. And I'm going to come over here and I'm going to mark this as what the store has. Okay. And then this one down here is what the customer needs. Okay. So now I need to color in how much fabric the store has. So I'm going to go ahead and color in, there's 1 full yard, 2 full yards, and 3 full yards, and then 3 out of 5. So once again, I'm very meticulous about this inside edge where the divider between what they do have and what they don't have is clearly defined so that I don't mess anything up. All right, so now I've represented 3 full yards and 3/5, and I can even label this. I have 1, 2, 3, and 3/5. Okay. Now, I'm going to switch to a different color pen to help differentiate things a bit. Hopefully this black pen won't explode on me like my other one did a minute ago. So now it says a customer needs 2 2/4 yards for a sewing project. So they need 2 2/4 yards. Oh, well, if they need something and we're at a store, I now know that I'm subtracting. So I'm going to go ahead and write this equation real quick. I have 3 3/5 minus 2 2/4. Okay. And this is going to equal F for fabric that's left over. All right. So this customer needs 2 full yards and 2/4 more. So that means that I'm going to have to add a couple of bars here. So there's 1 full yard, 2 full yards. I'm going to go ahead and split these into fourths just so that they're the same. And I'm going to carry this over. Show that that's right. That's what she needs, is all of that. And if you wanted to, you could even take like a black marker or something and just separate that so you have a distinct line between what they have and what they need. More in my mind, that separation helps me. Whatever works for you. So now I need to shade in what they need. And I'm going to shade in what they need in green. So I'm going to color in 2 full yards. There's 1 yard. There's 2 yards. And then she needs 2 out of 4. So there's 2 out of those 4 shaded. And to label, because labeling is what we do with our world, and we have 1 full yard, 2 full yards, and then 2 out of 4, 2/4 of a yard. All right, now if I'm thinking back to our other lesson about adding and subtracting fractions with unlike denominators, I have a bit of a problem because I can't subtract fifths and fourths. So that means that I'm going to need to do a little changing of these fractions in order to have the denominators be the same. That way I'm taking an even amount away. So just like we did before, if we have 5 pieces, we're going to need to split each piece into 4. So there's 2 and 4. And you know what? I'm just going to go ahead and take this line all the way down. So there's 2 and 2 and 2 and 2. So now I have an array that is 2 times 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And 2 times 10 is 20. And guess what? 5 times 4 is also 20. So we now have a good representation of these fifths split into 20ths. So now I have 3 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 20ths. And we need to subtract, I need to fix this fraction first. So if I split my fifths into 4 pieces, I need to split each fourth into 5 pieces. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. And this is still an array. I have 1 row and 20 in each row. 1 times 20 is 20. So now we have 2 full yards and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 out of 20 pieces. So now I need to take away 10 of these pieces from what we have. And I need to take away 2 full yards. So I'm going to go ahead and take away, there's 1 and 2 that I've taken away. And then I need to take away these 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So looking at my model, I have 1 full yard and 1 2 pieces out of 20 left. All right. So I'm going to come down here. I'm going to bring my 1 and 2/20ths. And I'm going to think, because both 2 and 20 are composite numbers, so I can simplify this fraction a bit. I can divide 2 and 20 by 2, which is going to leave me with 1 full yard. 2 divided by 2 is 1. 20 divided by 2 is 10. So I now know that I have 1 and 1/10 fabric. And if you want to see what I did there to create this simplified fraction, in this fraction I had 2 out of 20 remaining. I divided it by 2, which means that I'm creating groups of 2. So there's 1 group of 2, 2 groups of 2, 3 groups of 2, 4 groups of 2, 5 groups of 2, 6 groups of 2, 7 groups of 2, 8 groups of 2, 9 groups of 2, and 10 groups of 2. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 1 group out of the 10 is shaded. Right. And if it helps, I'll go through and I'll use my marker to kind of really sharpen what we took away on those 2. All right, so I have now proven that with what the store had and what the customer needed, I took away what the customer needed, so I subtracted, and I found that the store would have 1 full yard and 1 out of 10 yards and 1/10 yards left. Thank you guys so much for joining me. We'll be looking at more examples in class. I hope you guys have a great day.